A look at Faces and Phases by Zanele Muholi. Whose story is the story of art, and how can art reflect one's identity? To answer these questions today, we are looking at the collection of photographs titled Faces and Phases by photographer and self-described visual activist Zanele Muholi, who is black, non-binary, and hails from South Africa. Their work illustrates the desire and the need of marginalized communities to document and to be documented in places and mediums where they have been traditionally excluded, such as print, art, and film. Muholi's art in capturing beautifully composed images of black queer South Africans reflects their own desire to, quote, write our own history and validate our existence. Faces and Phases is an ongoing project by Zanele Muholi that captures the portraits of black lesbian and black transgender individuals from South Africa. The photos are mostly in grayscale on gelatin silver print, and the subjects are typically in front of a patterned or simple background. There are hundreds of photos included in this project as of today, and all of the photos bring direct aims to the subject, or participant, as Muholi refers to them. Typically, this type of portraiture is sterile in a sense. The subject is posed in a way the artist desires and is stripped of their context in the greater world. However, Muholi flips the script on this Western-style portraiture in quite a few ways. They collaborate with participants on poses to empower the participant and show their individuality. They include participants' names and locations so as not to divorce them from their context. They have participants come and speak at events and exhibitions to share their stories and experiences. And all of the portraits in Faces and Phases are of black lesbian and black trans people, which have been historically excluded from portraiture. The aim of Faces and Phases is to bring awareness to the struggles of LGBTQI+ individuals in post-apartheid South Africa, and additionally to document the, quote, remarkable lesbian women in South Africa. Faces and Phases is dedicated to an activist and good friend of Muholi's, Buzi Sigasa, who is a survivor of corrective rape and who later died from complications due to HIV. Corrective or homophobic rape is a hate crime where the perpetrator assaults the victim on the premise of fixing or curing their same-gender attraction or queerness. This is an unfortunately too common occurrence for queer people in South Africa, and it illustrates the need for Zanele Muholi's work and their self-identification as a visual activist. Muholi's mission is, quote, to rewrite a black, queer, and trans visual history of South Africa for the world to know of our resistance and existence at the height of hate crimes in South Africa and beyond. And by purposefully making these choices regarding queer subjects, collaborative poses, and context, Muholi pushes the idea that these are more than just documentary photographs. They're an active history being written through a camera lens. I, for one, love these photographs. There's something wonderful about seeing such incredible gender diversity and presentation in a culture outside of my own. I'm only familiar with queer culture as it exists in the United States, so to see a snapshot into the lives of queer people half a world away is amazing and beautiful. Knowing the context of how lots of these people are survivors of sexual assault makes my chest tight and makes the images haunting and heartbreaking. With many of the subjects staring directly into the lens, at us, the viewer, it implicates us in our viewing and passiveness. We're seeing this snapshot of this person who may be suffering, and they're looking right at us as if pleading to help. On the flip side, they're surviving and persevering despite all hardships, and it shows in the faces of some of the participants. In other images, we see smiles and excitement, and I think it speaks to the queer culture everywhere. Though we are assaulted, oppressed, and denied basic rights, we still have joy in our lives and in our shared universal queer experience. This ongoing photo series contains multitudes just like the unique and beautiful people that it depicts. This artwork remains relevant in a temporal sense today as Muholi continues to add photographs to the ongoing Faces and Phases project. It remains emotionally and societally relevant through its continued depiction of black queer faces which have been historically oppressed in South Africa, the United States, and around the globe. And by capturing these photographs, Zanele Muholi continues to update the growing story and history of queer people in South Africa and around the globe. And by continuing to pursue visual activism, Zanele Muholi continues to add to the contributions and broader history of black and queer artists and art, which both have been historically overlooked and brushed under the rug.